So at the time of me recording this, it is Monday the 9th of March and it is my birthday week. So around this time of the year, I get quite reflective on things that I set out to do at the start of the year, what I've got done, what I want to do going forward, how my perspective on things has changed. So that's what this video is. It's basically the top 5 things that I have found that you need to hear, I think, to get the most and make the most of 2026. Because we're in an era now where we've got so much information out there, and the thing that is stopping a lot of people from actually getting to where they want to is that exact reason, that we have so much information out there, that people are confused, people don't know where to start, people don't know what's real and what's fake, or people are relying on a robot single-handedly to guide them and be the thing that gets them to their goal. I'm just going to go over the 5 things that I think you need to do, the 5 perspective shifts that you need to make this year, and what I'll be making going forward that I've learned over the last, oh god, now I'm about to turn 31 in 4 days time. So I've got a lot more grey hairs, I've got a lot more experience than I did going into my from 29 into 30, or my 20s into my 30s, that I want to share with you. Because as I said before, you don't need someone else coming here and giving you information. There's a lot of that out there and it's free. So never mind someone like me coming and trying to not sell you a service, but offering you a service with my online coaching, which if you do want more information on, just click in the description below. It'll send you to my Instagram and just send me a DM over there. But that's not what I'm here for. I'm actually here to give you not information, but give you shifts that you need to make within your mental framework for you to make the most of this year. And the first thing that I want you to know is that everything works. No matter what you decide to do and how you decide to do it, everything works. So for me, as an example, I am an online coach and I train my clients to start hybrid training and lose 10 to 12 kilograms within 14 to 16 weeks. And how we get there, or how someone can get there, varies from person to person, and everything does work. Some people will get there by tracking everything, some people will get there by not tracking everything, some people will get there by tracking a little bit. Whatever modality you use in terms of losing your body fat, as long as it works for you, it will work. And I think that's the thing that I want you to know now as a perspective shift for you, is stop worrying about the information. Stop worrying about, and I'm speaking to myself because if you follow me on Instagram, you know I made a video about being an optimizer and wanting to optimize everything. And it led me to always wanting to get the right information, get enough information before I actually go and trial anything, which we'll come to in a second. But everything works. No matter what you decide to do, everything will work if you stick at it long enough. Because like I said, the thing that you're lacking isn't the lack of information, it's applying the information and finding out what works for you. And the harsh reality, and looking back on my last year, I can kind of say this for myself. The harsh reality is, if you've not got the result that you've wanted, if you've not changed your life how you've wanted, if you've not got the outcomes that you've wanted from your life, or going from 2025 into this year, I hate to break it, but it's probably on you. And if you don't get what you want from the rest of 2026, again, it's probably on you. Because like I said, we're not lacking information. And the reason you're not getting to your goal is probably one of these 3 things. It's probably because you've not yet figured out what works for you. So out of the many ways that you can skin the cat, you've not found the way that works for you. You haven't actually taken what you've learned, so that information, that knowledge that you've got from ChatGPT or from YouTube or whatever, you've actually not took that information, actually used it or applied it to your life. Or if you have done those first 2 things, you just haven't done it long enough for it to compound over a period of time, for it to give you the result that you're after. And if you keep starting and quitting because it's not going how you want it to go, that's the reason why you've not got to where you want to get to, with losing fat, with getting fit, with getting healthy, with getting with your mental health, with training better, with eating better, with feeling better. The reason all of these things haven't worked, even though you've got all of the information at your fingertips, is because you've not done it for long enough for the effects of that to compound enough. Because You could be doing something for a long period of time. You could be, say, you're started to diet and you've been dieting for 6 weeks. And you thought within those 6 weeks I'd lose X amount of weight and you haven't. Or within those 6 weeks you'd look a different way and you haven't. And then you stop. Your body's a lagging indicator of things that you're doing. So what you do over 6 weeks may take a further 6 weeks for you to actually see the visual representation of it. So if you keep starting and stopping and blaming what you're doing instead of doing it for long enough, you'll always blame something that isn't actually to blame for. And that's why I'm saying that everything works. You just have to stick at it long enough. Point number 2 is construct your own life. The thing that I am sick and tired of is going on social media or on YouTube and seeing people who live their life a certain way, who train a certain way, who train a certain amount of times in a day, who train in a certain modality, who do things in a certain way. And people just then say, right, I'm going to take what this person's doing and take it as gospel and go and apply that to my own life. And what they find is this always leads to a dead end and leads to them feeling frustrated. So I know for me personally, I know when I started running, for example, I would follow all of the advice from the people at the very top, whether that's naivety, whether that's stupidity, whether that is just me being a competitive person and thinking, oh, this can't be as hard as it is, or I can do that with my life because if they can do it, then why can't I do it? If they have X amount of responsibilities and I don't, why can't I also do that? But what I've not taken into consideration is people's backgrounds, people's time, constraints, people's ability. That's a big thing again that I underestimated, is people's abilities to do certain things. And I would often try and construct my life based off how other people's lives were and the things that they had in their life. And then I would then feel like my life is such an inconvenience because it's not as easy or as direct or the same as somebody else's. So I had this like thing where I'd always want to train at 6 a.m. because all of the influencers that I saw or all of the athletes I saw who were doing hybrid training were going on runs at 4, 5, 6 a.m. in the morning. And I tried to do it for a long time and it just didn't work. It didn't work with how my life works. It didn't work with my responsibilities with work and with family commitment and having a baby. And at the start of that, who didn't sleep properly. All of these things are things that other people have their way of managing and they've constructed their lives to match their situations. So I felt like a failure for such a long time because I couldn't do what other people were doing. And it's not that I was failing, it's that I was using someone else's roadmap and someone else's game plan for myself when we have a complete different set of circumstances. So please, this year, try and construct your life based off your constraints and your abilities and where you are and your responsibilities, because if you don't, you're going to rob yourself and you're going to start comparing yourself as a failure to other people when they're just doing what I'm telling you to do now. Point number 3 is stop looking for more information. Stop looking for more influences. Stop looking for more TikToks or Instagrams or people to follow or YouTube videos. Stick on this one because this is actually helpful. But stop looking for more information. Stop looking for more places to find more things that you can do. Because let's be honest, that's probably the thing that's paralyzing you. You're probably trying to do all of these different things in one go because you're reading all of these pieces of information. And what you end up doing is trying to, like I said before, and I've been there, if you watch my Instagram, you'd see, you're trying to optimize everything, but not from your perspective, from other people's perspectives. And you think that if you just keep getting more information, you're going to get more ways to do what you want to do. So if you think if you watch 50 YouTube videos, if you plan your week down to the second, plan everything and get everything in front of you, plan your next 6 months, which there's nothing wrong with at all. But the best habits and the ones that you can stick to often have wiggle room. And that's why I'm saying 1, construct your life. 2, find what works for you. So the 2 first things I said all come into play here. And stop looking for more information. You've got enough already. What I would do instead is start to try and put the pieces together and start trying to do a bit of trial and error with the thing that you've done. I think a lot of people have this mindset, and again, this whole video is about changing your perspective. People have this mindset that they have to get things right the first time. They have to try something and it has to work, or they feel like a failure. But 9 times out of 10, you're going to walk into more errors than you are successes. And that is the process and the journey that actually makes you better and forms the person that you want to be. So what I would do is think of every way you can to just try new things. Don't go and try load all of this information in your brain without doing anything about it. Use glue and sawdust and whatever to put things together, duct tape, whatever it is. Just think of a way of trying to put the things in action that you said you're going to do, as opposed to thinking, how can I further optimize this? Because life has a funny way of humbling you and giving you a lot of excuses to stop. But if you just think, right, I'm just going to fix these problems with the information that I have now, with the tools that I have now, with the time that I have now. If I can only go to the gym 1 day a week, then that's what I'm going to do. And if in that one session, I actually don't know what to do except for one workout that I've seen someone do, or I followed my page or someone else's page and I've seen a workout and I'm going to try that, then you start to build off that. Then you start to refine things and to make things more polished. And then you know what to look out for, what to not look out for. But you just getting a load of information is actually going to do nothing for you. So please stop doing that. Number 4, I want you to document everything. We're in an era now where you actually have an upper hand here with social media, where you can actually put out things that you're doing and you get a platform for you to hold yourself accountable. And people may hear that and be like, well, I don't want to show everyone what I'm doing, and I don't want people to know that I'm struggling, or I don't want people to know that I'm failing in a certain area. But if I'm honest, that's why you're here. You're here because you have kept failing. You have said you're going to start something and you've stopped. You have got paralysis in terms of starting something because you're trying to consume too much information. So rather than doing that, use duct tape, use sawdust, put pieces together and just start going and document it. Because what you're going to get from documenting it is you're going to get accountability, not just from external people, but also for yourself. Every person knows intrinsically how much effort they're putting in. Every person knows how hard they're trying. Deep down, everyone knows that they can try harder if they're not. Or you know that you're giving 100%. And what it does if you document things is it makes you and forces you to have to turn up and be 100% when you are documenting your journey. And analogy I'll give you is, if you go to the gym and you're going to do a 1 rep max squat or 1 rep max bench or whatever you're going to do, if you get your phone out and you simply just film it, or you get someone to get their phone out and to film you do it, automatically what happens, you get this extra 5% of strength from somewhere that allows you to lift the weight that you probably wouldn't have, because you got the pressure of the camera, you got people watching, there's a little bit of a crowd, there's a buzz, people are anticipating you doing this lift. So why don't you do the same thing for the majority of your life, especially the things that you struggle with? So for example, if you struggle with going to the gym after work, why don't you say on an Instagram post or story in the morning, here's my bag, here's my kit, after I finish my shift, I'm going to the gym. And then what people will start to then do is, number 1, they can hold you to your BS. So if you don't turn up in the gym, they can be like, bro, you said you're going to go to the gym and you didn't go. And I think people think that no one cares about them. No one cares about them if you keep starting something and stopping, or you don't start at all. But you slowly, or very quickly, you start to realize that when you start to document your journey and hold yourself accountable, not just to yourself, but also to a group of people who follow you and care, you start to notice people actually do care about your journey and where you get to. You start to notice that people are looking out for your progress. You start to notice that people want to help and want to give you words of encouragement and want to see you win. And you start to get this, yes, it should be intrinsic. Yes, you should want to get better for yourself. But you start to get the sense of accomplishment that what you're doing, people, 1, care about, and 2, it's inspiring other people. So document your journey, document the hard things in your journey, because that's the thing that's going to keep you and hold you to a higher standard. And also, you're probably here in this position that you want to change because you haven't held yourself accountable. So what's adding other people to do that going to do, really? You're not going to lose anything. And in reality, and from my client's experience, what you're actually going to do is get people to hold you to a higher level because you said you're going to do something. So if you said you're going to lose 10 kilos and you fall off, but you've told your missus, or you've told your best friends, or you've told your coach, they're going to hold you to that standard until you get there, because you said that's what you want to do and you said that's what you're going to do. And number 2, it'll give you a boost of people who care about you to really push you and for you to get to another level, because you said you're going to do something and they're going to hold you to that standard. And number 5, please, for the love of God, whatever journey you decide to take yourself into this year, please enjoy it. And I don't mean just enjoy it in terms of like, say, trust the process or enjoy the process or whatever it is. Find something that actually gets you out of bed and gives you a sense of enjoyment and gives you a sense of accomplishment when you go to bed. Even if that thing is really hard, even if that thing is challenging, even if that thing sometimes gives you sleepless nights, whatever that thing is that makes you get out of bed, that gives you a drive and a sense of purpose, that is what you need to be doing. And if you combine that with the other 4 things that I've told you, of finding something that works for you, structuring and building a life that works for you, documenting the hell out of it, and finding something you enjoy, if you do those things, then I promise you're going to get to wherever you want to this year. And one more bonus tip for you, actually, that I've just thought of is, imagine you're watching a film of your life and you were seeing you as a main character in this film. What would you be shouting at the screen at that person to do at that time? Because whatever you'd be shouting at that person is exactly what you should do. So if you're watching your life now, if you've zoomed out, you're watching yourself now or your character in a film, and you're saying, oh, I just don't understand why this person's making the same mistake, or I don't understand why this person doesn't believe in themselves, or I don't understand why this person is trying to get more information when they've got everything. That is what you should then be doing. You're acknowledging. And have you ever noticed that you give your friends better advice than you, or you give them the best advice, but you don't take it yourself? So what I want you to do is treat yourself as someone in a film. What would you be shouting at them? And that is exactly what you should be doing. And if you do all of these things that I have said, I promise you will be sat back here in a year's time and you're going to be in a completely different headspace and a completely different realm of your life than you would be anyway. And that is my thought process going into my 31st year of existing. I am 6 days out of a half marathon, and 2 days before that is my 31st birthday. So yes, I'm very reflective of what's going to happen in this next year. But these are things that I am going to try in my own life, because I've suffered with all of these things and I'm now starting to come out on the other side of these things, and I feel like I can help you out with it. And that's why I've been documenting my journey. That's why I have been trying to construct my own life and constructing it in public so you can see. That is why I've been trying to stop getting more information, stop going on ChatGPT, stop going on YouTube videos and trying to find things, and just figuring things out for myself, getting duct tape and sawdust and glue and putting this stuff together and seeing what I come out with, and then refine it as I go along. And I've done enough screaming at the screen of what I should do and the things that I should do. So yeah, 4 days out of my birthday, I'm 6 days out of my first half marathon, and hopefully we come back in a year's time and I've not only done the things that I've said here, but some of you also have done those things as well, and we've both completely changed our life. So yeah, I'll see you on the next one.